I'd like to start off with a question for all of you. What do you think is democracy? Is it a right to live freely, a life of liberty and justice? Is it a right to vote, to elect the people you trust onto the positions of power in your countries? Is it a right to do business in a free and unrestricted way? Is it a right at all? I'd like you to look into the past, into the very recent events of the violent protests in Israel, in Great Britain. I'd like to look into the past a bit further, into the violent protests of the Arab Spring, where millions of people willingly risked their lives to ensure liberty and justice for their children. And I ask you again, what is democracy? And I ask you again, is it a right? The answer is no. In the times when democracy is in danger, in times when it can no longer be taken for granted, democracy is no longer a right. It is a duty. But I'd like you to ask a question. If democracy is a mission, how do we fulfill it? Well, is voting enough? Well, the answer is, once again, no. Every single adult citizen of the European Union has the right to vote. Every single member of any economic and political class has the right to vote and has been voting for the past years. And it's not working anymore. These democratically elected governments that these people have voted on are the ones they're protesting against. Well, the question now is, how do we, as youth, change the situation? You as youth do not have power, but you do have something much more promising. You're bright, young Europeans, you have language and you have the mind to take charge of your own world in the future. Take charge of the world you and your children will live in the future. But the question is, once again, how? I'd like to present you two organizations that will help you do that. The European Youth Parliament and the Model United Nations, which personally I am a member of. All of those can help you shape your world democratically, and you have to prepare for that if you want your own future to be democratic. Actually, you can start at this very moment. The Warsaw session of the Model United Nations starts in a week. The applications are ongoing now, and everything I'm talking about you can put into action from this very day. Politicians don't come from nowhere. They're not built in factories or sewn together. They're people like us. People that once woke up in the morning and thought, I want to live in better times. And they tried to do that. And they failed. We can see that from the protests. They failed to do so. Well, the question now is, what is our influence on this? Why did they fail? And why won't we? Because they were unprepared, because they did not plan ahead and think about the problems they will be facing beforehand. You have this opportunity. You have the eagerness and you have the language to start preparing now for the future we'll all be living in. Democracy will no longer be served on a silver platter. Democracy in the past years, as you can see in the changing Europe, Asia, Middle East, Africa, is falling. And we need new people to change that. We need you, and we need you from this very moment. But there is no place for fear. There is place for mobilization and hope. Hope that our generation, that your generation, can write history of mankind with ink and not with blood. Thank you.